On today's podcast, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about mindset and the prison convict mentality that you get and see in today's prisons. I'm going to break it down, all the details right here, right now, with this podcast here tonight from Inside Out. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your host Jay, and you're watching from Inside Out. Thank you guys so much for joining and watching this podcast. I do very much appreciate it. As you guys can see, something a little different for this show, trying to spice things up, if you will, a little bit, make things a little bit more exciting. And I'm over here at one of my local beaches here in Pensacola. And I decided to do this podcast for a couple of reasons. Number one, I've been getting a lot of comments, a lot of questions, whatnot, related to my podcast and all that. And one of the questions that were brought up to me is, do inmates or our locked up loved ones still have that prison mentality when they get released? That's a great question, and I felt it was fitting for this podcast here tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, what is prison mindset? What is convict mindset? All right, well, let's break down the word convict first, and we'll go from there to the rest of it. A convict is basically an individual that is, been charged with a criminal type crime. And it doesn't matter what kind of crime it is, ladies and gentlemen, crime's a crime, especially if it's a felony crime. Then you go into a prison setting, and then you become the word convict, if that makes any sense. So we're convicts, all right? I know it sounds like a bad word in a sense, but it really isn't. I'm gonna have all the details of what these words that I'm telling you here tonight on this podcast right on your screen. So bear with me for the duration of this podcast, all right, guys? So convict mentality, what is that? All right, prison, it's a mental thing that we get when we go to prison. And people that done a lot of time in prison, like 20 years plus, they get this prison mentality. But can it be fixed or changed when you get out? Those are all great questions, and I'm going to have all the details right here, right now. So what we do is, when we go to prison, you get into the prison politics, you get into the prison policies, the prison code, and I did a video on prison code on my podcast. If you missed that, go check it out. Basically what that means, guys, is we have a thought process in there that's way different than out here. All right? So when you get released, you can still act, talk, and everything else once you get released. You can change. It's all about your mindset, ladies and gentlemen. It is all about your mindset and how much you want to change. All right? Only you can make those choices. If you want to get released and still have that prison mentality out here in the real world, as you guys can see, then that's on you. But your life is going to be hard if you can't not get rid of that prison mentality or that convict mentality. And if you don't have a good, solid support group, friends, family, people that you can trust, or something along that line, your chances of falling is greater, unfortunately. All right? So what you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, what you need to do is you need to find yourself a very big-time, hardcore support group. Friends, family, wife if you have one, girlfriend if you have one, or better known what we call, from a convict aspect, ride or die bitches. It is what it is. That's what they call them. I'm just giving you the prison term in prison. All right? So prison convict. You can change your mindset. It does not have to be that way or stick with you for the rest of your life. Now again, that's easier said than done on a lot of you that are people that have done a lot of time. All right, so again, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about you, your power, how strong you are mentally, and how much change you want to bring to the table. Now, a lot of your friends and family, whatnot, can't really change you. You have to do that. You have to have your friends and family lead you to the door, but only you, my friend, can walk through it. All right? These people can only do so much for you, but you got to show initiative, you got to show the willpower, and you got to show the mindset where you're at if you want this change. All right? So only you can make this change. So let's get into the topic real quick about prison mindset and what it is and how it occurs and how you get it. When you get convicted of your whatever it is, crime, and you go to prison, all you have at that moment in time in your life is prison. Prison's your family, prison's your new home, prison's your new world. And in there, it's not fun, it's not easy. You'll have a lot of issues that will wear on you, and it will become part of you in a sense when you get out. And that's if you get out. All right? So you can change that just because you were in there. Now, what am I getting at? Well, plain and simple. If you can get it in there, you can get rid of it when you get out. I know it sounds hard to do or whatnot, or easier said than done, but you can. All right? Again, it's all about your willpower and how much you want to change with this second chance at life that you're getting. All right? So, prison mindset. What it is you go in prison and you hang out with all these other inmates. You start talking, acting, eating, attitude changes. So many things happen in there because, again, the prison code kind of makes you that way. I'm sorry, but it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It kind of makes you that way. It puts you in that situation. All right? So you got your friends, you got other convicts, you got other individuals that changes your perspective on life from what you used to see out here. All right? So people can change you in there, but people out here can change you too also. It's all about what you want. All right? So let's get down to the details of the mindset, prison mindset, convict mentality, all that right here. So on your screen, if you can see it, and there it is. What's going on, guys? So as you guys can see on your screen, as promised in the video, this podcast is about what is convict mentality. And you're going to see not just this information here. Again, what is convict mentality? You're going to get all the details and the facts relating to this as you see on your screen right here. So as promised, as I said, out on the beach in this podcast, here's your data. Now do what you may with it. If my information and data is, for whatever, again, not good enough for you, for whatever reason, please, I highly recommend you do your own research to back up what I'm saying here. This was posted or put up on the internet May 2nd, 2020. All right, so it's fairly new. So I hope you guys can understand what we're dealing with here. So again, the topic is, what is convict mentality? I'm talking about it with you on the beach, but in more depth information, here we go. Moving down this story, and if you want to read this whole entire story, Noah's story, you can go to, again, showing you the data in the page. Hope you guys can see it. You got to go here. You'll see this page. You'll see this come up. It'll be Noah's story. All right? Just look for that. When you type in prison mentality in the search box, this will come up. And I'm showing you this because, again, thanks to the internet, thanks to Google and all that fun jazz, if my information for whatever reason is not good enough, this is backing up what I'm saying.
All right. So moving on real quick. It says right here in detail. Again, what is convict mentality? Here's the answer to that. Convict mentality, this is simply a term that refers to an inmate and the way he or she carries oneself. I hope that makes sense. All right. And you can get even more details and data right here. It's called institutionalized post. There's more information. All you got to do is click it. And it goes on saying this, and I'll make this brief because I got some more information and data to back up what I'm saying on the beach. There are probably many similarities between that and an individual who has a convict mentality. And I underline or say kind of stern here, mentality is mental. It's all in the brain. First, you must understand what a convict is and how it differs from an inmate. There are two different scenarios here. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. A convict doesn't conform to the rules set to them by the system. Okay? Imagine that. Whereas an inmate does. And that's pretty self-explanatory right there. Moving on real quick, guys. A convict doesn't let anyone disrespect them, no matter how small the infraction is. Okay? There must always be a consequences, because that is the only thing stopping the next person from making the same mistakes again and again. So in a nutshell, broke down in this term, in this definition, you've seen firsthand what the difference between the two are: convict and inmate. Let's go ahead and move on real quick now to the other portion of this and show you what, again, from a mental standpoint, ladies and gentlemen, because again, this is all mental right here. You can see here it is. This is the same thing, just worded differently. And you can see it on your screen. Again, if you cannot see this, I will do my best to bring this closer to you guys. There you go. The prison system, let me go ahead and do this so that you guys can keep with me. The prison system has been used as a form of punishment. Yes, and we already know this. Okay? And it goes on saying some more. And deterrence for centuries. And we know this. Okay? More information here. And this is backed up by facts and science stuff. So if this is wrong and you think I'm lying, go after these guys that posted it. Don't come after me. Keep your disrespectful comments to yourself, nonetheless. Many people do realize that conditions in prisons are oftentimes inhumane and cause, negative, I'm sorry, this is a tough word for me, guys, and I do apologize. Psychological effects on inmates. I do apologize for not saying that word right. Don't freaking beat me up here, guys. I'm doing my best. It is what it is. Okay? I want you to pay attention to the facts here. Read it yourself. If I didn't say it right, I'm not here to be criticized of my ability to talk or whatnot. If you got to say something petty because I can't say certain words, it is what it is. Just keep it to yourself. pay attention to the point I'm trying to make here. Okay, in recent years, there's that word again. And again, to clarify real quick, guys, there's some words I can't say and there's some words that you can't say. So, it is what it is. Psychologist, there we go. And researchers have begun to take closer look at these effects and what causes them, as well as what we can do as a society to eliminate them. Studies have found that anxiety, and all inmates get this, not to mention PTSD and everything else, which is right here. I just said it. Wow, imagine that. Okay. And post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD is short. Okay. Are common in those who have lived in prison for a long period of time and who are accustomed to prison life. See? Again, it's the prison life that does this to you. All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a lot of time to go through this whole thing, but if you want to read this whole entire thing from every piece of data that you see on your screen, again, there it is. Do it your own time, but there is some facts right there in front of your face. Okay. And you can get this off of this webpage right here, NIA, National Incarceration Association. The next piece of data that I want to share with you guys regarding this topic is right here. And I'll zoom in for this one too as well. There we go. Prisoner depression and low mood. Again, it happens. It's all part of the mental status that you get inside prison, ladies and gentlemen. And this was written, I believe, by Dr. Lidjay Thomas, MD. So a doctor. Depression is a common mental problem that makes person feel downhearted and low. Different kinds of stress in life can lead to this development of depression and low mood. To be sentenced to prison can be among the most stressful and potentially depressive events in prisoner's life. So again, there you go. See what prison does to you? Stay out. I mean, come on, guys, stay out. No crime is worth going through all this bull crap that I'm teaching you guys here tonight. Stay out. And here's some more information. Boom. See? This puts a major impact. Believe it or not, this puts a major impact on mental health, everything from the human body. All right? Including health. Your body changes in it because the food's crap. Take a look at this picture right here that you see that I got my pointer on. I had an issue with my gallbladder, which is right here, eating that food. Okay? It does stuff to your body, it does stuff to your mind. It really messes you up in so many ways. So, a prisoner is a person who is legally held in prison as a punishment. Notice they use the word punishment. They don't use the word correction. What are they correcting? Not a damn thing. It's punishment. That's all they care about. For a crime or while awaiting trial. This imprisonment is traumatic experience for the person as it restricts one's liberties of movement. Not just that, freedom and everything else. You're away from your family, your kids. It's not worth it, guys. It's not worth it. Stay the hell out. Moving on. Prisoners are under huge stress mentally. I told you that. And physically. Absolutely. Leading to again, this word is tough for me. but basically leading, it's a mental thing regardless. Mental changes that can lead to depression. Okay. Researchers consider a prison as a powerhouse of mental problems. And that's, if you don't have any mental problems before you went in, you're going to get some before you come out. That's a guarantee. Prisoners already having mental problems often become more ill. Absolutely. And those without any mental illness are likely to develop it during their imprisonment. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And real quick, you can see on your screen, pause this if you want to see all of this in its entirety. There it is, guys. I don't have time to read all this stuff off, but this is what it does. This is what it does to you guys. Look, it causes memories of illegal acts. And then here's another. Oops, my bad. Prison. What the heck? Prison. Okay. Missing loved ones. That was a hard one for me. And then moving on here. Life with other prisoners changes you too. Okay. And here's some more, guys, real quick. I'm sorry, I got to do this quick. Symptoms of prisoner depression. There you go. All of this. God, come on, cooperate. All of this. Read this, screenshot it, pause it. There you go. All right. So that's going to be the data on your screen. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you want this web page, you can go here. News, Medical, Life Sciences. All right. They have a lot of great stuff here, and they get to the facts, just what I like. I like facts. I don't like hype. And then, of course, I got this one too as well that shows you exactly what's going on here and all of the effects that happen inside of our prisons and what it does to you mentally. There's more information there on this page. Go to NIA and you can read it yourself. There it is. Last but not least, what is convict mentality? And there it is. And I showed you right here at the very first sentence. You want to read this guy's story or hear it, you can go to this page that you see here and go from there. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back to me on the beach and finish up the rest of this podcast. Thanks for watching, guys.
So, what you need to do, again, and I can't stress this enough, ladies and gentlemen, what you need to do is you need to find yourself an awesome support group. Your counselors, your DOC officers, when you get on probation out here, they're not really going to do anything for you. They really don't care. It's all about the money. Remember I told you that? It's all about the money. Okay? So what you need to do is, like, again, with me, I got lucky. I'm blessed. I'll admit it. It's not a bragging moment, but some of you don't have that luxury. But I have a wife, and my wife stuck by my side for the very beginning of all of this bullcrap that happened to me in 2009. All right. So again, if you don't have somebody that will support you, know your character and who you are before you go in, the chances of you failing and falling and getting your second chance burnt is going to be pretty high. You need to find a awesome support group. Again, wife, girlfriend, father, if you have one, grandparents, if you have some, whatever you can find, including a good counseling outside of DOC's recommendations. Because DOC is going to recommend you go see anger management classes and all these other things. But again, ladies and gentlemen, those things really don't work. I went through them. I passed them with flying colors. And maybe I can get in more detail how I was able to pass through all of that with flying colors and all of that a little bit later in another podcast if it comes down to it. But ladies and gentlemen, what I did was simple. All right, my mindset was stronger than most. And again, I understand that a lot of you don't have that strong mindset. Mine was strong. I didn't care what people thought of me. I don't care what people think. Because let's face it, out here in the real world, we're not here to please ourselves. or please them, I'm sorry, excuse me. We're out here to please ourselves. We're not out here to please these people. Okay? So screw what people think. Okay? Because we live in a very judgmental world, ladies and gentlemen. I can't stress that enough. We live in a very stressful world and a very judgmental world. And people are going to point fingers at you and make fun of you. Who cares? If I'm living my second chance at life, ta-da, screw what everybody else has to say. It is what it is. I don't care. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have any questions, comments regarding this podcast here tonight, please reach out to me in the chat, in the comments, or you can email me right now at voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. All right. Once again, my email is voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. If you want to do a podcast with me relating to some type of prison situation, get a hold of me. Let's talk. Let's do something. I will put your story up on here if that's what you want. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm over here at the beach here in Pensacola, Florida. And before I go, I wanted to give you guys two things that are currently going on right now here in America. Number one, where I'm at, we have a potential hurricane. Again, I said potential. We don't know what it's going to do yet or which way it's going to go. It's too early to tell. But we have a potential hurricane in the Atlantic brewing as I speak. And we're hoping it doesn't get into the Gulf, which is what you see here behind me, and wreak havoc over here. We are in hurricane season nonetheless. But the point I'm making here is that we have prisons here too. And maybe I can kind of give you guys some insight and some information what happens to our inmates here in the Deep South, especially here in Florida, when a hurricane or some type of drastic weather related or Mother Nature related thing happens here. All right, so I'll give you guys the details of that a little bit later in this podcast or on another upcoming podcast. But the other weather event is in Texas currently right now. All right, so in Texas, as you guys probably know, we have some major weather event going on. It's a major heat wave. And right now, believe it or not, I know this might sound far-fetched for some of you that have been watching me right now. Believe it or not, folks, I haven't gotten one piece of information or call related to this heat-related issue in Texas when it comes to our locked-up loved ones in prison in Texas. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we are dealing with a major heat event, double digits, and you can't tell me people are not cooking inside those prisons in Texas. If I get something on it though, you'll hear it directly right here from me from Inside Out. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with that information. Again, another beautiful night out here on the beach. And if you guys have got questions, comments, concerns related to this topic or anything in the near future, drop me a message in the chat or email me right now at voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. All right, so let's hook up, let's do something. You want something to get out there, you want your story heard, you want your voice heard, email me right now. Once again, voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. With that said, I'm gonna bounce out of here, but I think this is where everybody would like to be right now. I know I am. So with that said, I'm your host Jay. I will see you all on the next podcast. Good night, everybody.